Hello, hello, hello. It is your mom of three in NYC, and I'm back with another video. We Bible scholars are on an adventure to read through the Bible this year. If you have not already, please make sure that you subscribe to my channel and ensure that your post notifications are turned on so that you never miss a video. This, my dear friends, is a review of 2 Samuel chapters 11 and 12. Let's just jump right in. All right, so chapter 11 begins with the fact that David sent Joab to fight the Ammonites. He stayed in Jerusalem. He was on the roof of the palace one day looking down. He saw a woman bathing. Her name was Bathsheba, wife of a man named Uriah. She was cleansing herself. Jewish women, some, after their monthly cycle, they have to do a series of bathing to no longer be unclean because they're considered unclean during their cycle. So David's on the roof of the palace looking down, and he sees this woman, Bathsheba, cleansing herself. David sent for her. He sleeps with her, and she goes home, but she does send word that she is pregnant. David sent for her husband Uriah, who was in battle. David told him to go home and wash his feet. Uriah did not go home. Verses 10 and 11 of chapter 11. When David was told Uriah did not go home, he asked him, "Haven't you just come from a distance? Why didn't you go home?" Uriah said to David, "The ark and Israel and Judah are staying in tents. My master Joab and my lord's men are camped in the open fields. How could I go to my house to eat and drink and lie with my wife? As surely as you live, I will not do such a thing." And it ends with an exclamation mark. So he's serious. So noble of him, right? So that night, David tells Uriah that he can stay the night. And the next, David made him drunk. Uriah still did not go home. David sent a letter to Joab with Uriah. So Uriah returns to battle. King David has sent a letter written to Joab with him. Verse 15 of chapter 11. Verse 15. In it, King David, wrote, "Put Uriah in the front line where the fighting is fiercest. Then withdraw from him, so he will be struck down and die." Joab did just that, and Uriah died. A messenger was sent to David. Verse 23. The messenger said to David, "The men overpowered us and came out against us in the open, but we drove them back to the entrance to the city gate. Then the archers," verse 24, "shot arrows at your servants from the wall. Some of the king's men died. Moreover, your servant Uriah the Hittite is dead." David told the messenger in verse 25, "Say this to Joab, don't let this upset you. The sword devours one as well as another. Press the attack against the city and destroy it. Say this to encourage Joab." It says in the Bible that Uriah's wife, whom we know as Bathsheba, mourned for him. David sent for Bathsheba. He married her, and she bore him a son. But final verse of chapter 11 is verse 27. After the time of mourning was over, David had her brought to his house. She became his wife, bore him a son, but the thing David had done displeased the Lord. 2 Samuel chapter 12. Nathan goes to David. And Nathan tells David a story. He said there were two men. There was one rich man, one poor man. The rich man had a large number of sheep and cattle. The poor man only had one ewe lamb that he actually raised with his family. The lamb slept with him. The lamb ate with them. The lamb was like a daughter to the poor man. The traveler came to the rich man. Instead of taking one of his own, he took the ewe lamb, which belonged to the poor man, and prepared that for the traveler. I wanted to read for you guys verses 5 and 6. David burned with anger against the man. He said to Nathan, "As surely as the Lord lives, the man who did this deserves to die. He must pay for that lamb 4 times over because he did such a thing and had no pity." Lo and behold, Nathan told David, "You are the man." I wanted to read for you verse 7. Nathan said to David, "You are the man. That is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says. I anointed you king over Israel. I delivered you from the hand of Saul. I gave your master's house to you, your master's wives into your arms. I gave you the house of Israel and Judah. And if all this had been too little, I would have given you even more." Verse 9, "Why did you despise the word of the Lord by doing what is evil in his eyes? You struck down Uriah the Hittite with the sword, took his wife to be your own. You killed him with the sword of the Ammonites." And so the Lord says a consequence is that the Lord will bring calamity to David. David tells Nathan, "I have sinned against the Lord." Nathan told David that his sin was taken away from him. He will not die, but his son will. And for any parent, like, that's worse. That is worse. That's worse. Like, my kids, baby 2 had the flu a few weeks ago, and my heart just broke. I wanted to be sick for him. As a parent, you want to protect your children as much as possible. So it hurts even more. David, he was so sad. He was sleeping on the ground. His son grew ill, and on the 7th day, the child died. David's attendants were so afraid to tell David what had happened. But David saw his attendants whispering amongst themselves, and he asked them, "Is the child dead?" David asked, and they said, "Yes, he is." So he did 3 things. He washed, he put on oils, he went to the house of the Lord to worship, he went to his own house. I wanted to read for you guys verses 21, 22, 23, and 24. His servant asked him, "Why are you acting this way? While the child was alive, you fasted and wept. But now the child is dead, you get up and eat." He answered, "While the child was still alive, I fasted and wept. I thought, who knows, the Lord may be gracious to me and let the child live. But now that he is dead, why should I fast? Can I bring him back again? I will go to him, but he will not return to me." Then David comforted his wife Bathsheba. He went to her and lay with her. She gave birth to a son. They named him Solomon. Bible scholars, is that King Solomon? The Lord loved him. David went to Rabbah, attacked and captured all the Ammonite towns. As always, questions, comments, or revelations, drop them in the comments below. Wow. Woo, what a chapter. So much, so much. I hope that you're having an amazing day, and I will see you in tomorrow's review. Bye for now, Bible scholars.